So it's
Yeah.
taking legacy requirements and future requirements, and then developing something from the ground up that is able to accomplish both.
Okay. And so, can you name some of the processes that were new that you introduced?
Name some of the processes. I'm not sure I understand what you mean by that.
Yeah, you said that some of the legacy software that was 10 years old, and so yeah, so like what sort of old processes were there, and if you introduce new replacements for them.
Yeah, so those are software tools. Over 10 years old, they're software tools, and the processes are how I run these tools to get to my answer, right?
Okay.
So we create a new tool, which then has to have a new process to run that and get the associated result. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Okay.
Right. It wasn't a
Yeah.
process as a policy procedure. It's a process of here's how I turn the crank to get the widget to work.
Okay. And so which were like, what sort of tools were there that you had to create?
They're in-house developed tools. They're not. We could not use commercially available products, and we could not use anything that had any type of an open source license because of the nature of the classification of what we were doing. That if we used any of those open source licenses, we would have to push back. If we modified them, we'd have to push that back into the community, and we were concerned about they were concerned about intellectual property and classification.
Okay, makes sense. And you developed ADA 95 and corrected C++ code. So what is ADA 95 here? Like, is it some tool or what?
ADA 95 is a programming language, a very old programming language. That was, I mean, it was actually released in around 95 or 96, but it was the programming language that was used by the developers at that time, and had kind of been, once they developed something, and they just kind of kept adding to it. And at some point, it's like, you guys need to get into a whole new programming language, which, when you're talking about millions and millions of lines of code, is a very significant effort.
Okay, perfect. And then from this role, yeah, so you developed a framework for a standard analysis tool, resulting in potential savings of millions of dollars per year in development costs. So what sort of standard analysis tool was it? And yeah, so potential savings. So wasn't that implemented or utilized that you were mentioning, potential savings of millions?
Yeah, so what happened in this case, so, right, so we developed this capability. We go through a bake-off with everyone else who also had their own analysis tool, right? So if you remember, everybody's doing their own metrics, and everybody has their own analysis tool. So the customer, the program sponsor, is forced to fund all of these different entities, is paying huge amounts of money to maintain all of these products. And their statement is, if you guys are all looking at the same data, why do we not just have one product that does that?
Yeah.
Makes sense, right? Yeah. So everyone has a vested interest in the overall failure of the common analysis tool, because that may result in them losing control of the analysis tool, or them losing funding to develop their own analysis tools. So we went through and did a comparison. We were considerably faster. We ended up having to, we gave our source code out and everything. And after years of back and forth, it really came down to, well, we wrote our tool in Java and your tool's in C++, and we can't use your tool because it's not in Java. And it's just a killer. right?
Yeah.
You've got to be kidding. So as a
Yeah.
taxpayer, I'm irate.
Yeah.
But I
Hmm.
understand the situation. So there's cost savings there. Was it realized, and how well did that go? You have to realize that these are a group of different organizations that are working together towards a common goal, but may not necessarily like the fact that there's overall cost reductions and
Mhm.
there's money, at the sponsorship level that's trying to be saved, and no one likes that because nobody wants to take a budget cut, right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, and so you coordinated enterprise analysis tool project to develop common tool for use by NSWCs for future ACB development programs. So what's ACB here?
ACB is Advanced Capability Build.
Okay. Okay.
So
And
what
so
so what
inter
you could
yeah.
so what you could say there is for future combat systems. You don't need to use we could take the ACB out and just say future combat systems.
Okay. Okay. And you interface directly with PEO IWS1 DMPM.
Yeah, so that's that ends up being the sponsor. That's the BNPM is the Deputy Management
Mhm.
Program Manager.
Okay.
So
Uh-huh.
that was the overall sponsor that was doing it. So you can
Okay.
I think this resume was written for someone that is very intimate with Navy jargon, and it's
Yeah.
very. I'm seeing how difficult it is for somebody else to try to go through it and make sense. That becomes the
Yeah.
sponsor who
Okay.
drives the. I mean, they have millions and millions and millions of dollars in budget, and
Mm-hmm.
they say this is the decision that I want to make. I
Mm-hmm.
want to do cost avoidance. Let's go forth and do this.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, perfect. And then you write ship conducted post-event analysis and developed a presented briefings to program of a sponsor on spy OA DRFM NEA performance.
So
So spy
that would
OA,
be
yeah.
radar open architecture.
Okay.
SPI OA means open architecture. So this
Okay.
was